Communicating is that's what I do. So you never have to guess with me. You never have to, because sometimes women, we really don't say what we mean, or sorry, sometimes we expect men to know what we
both
are thinking.
Right.
So yes, you're right, both. What they get with me is they get someone that is I might not be 100% effective all the time, but at least my goal is to communicate. They also get forgiveness. Like, I know how to forgive. I know how to, okay, yeah, he might not have made the right decision, but I know how to forgive. I know how to show grace. They also get family. A lot of men don't even have fathers. They get my daddy. They get my daddy. If you pick me, they get my daddy. Like, I'll share my dad. You got a whole team of brothers waiting to get to know you and love you and stuff. And then my son, he just gets love. What they gain from me is just love.
Yo, I'm not even a man, but I felt warm and fuzzy when you said that, okay? That is beautiful. All right.
Oh, my God.
What do you need to improve, learn, or stop doing to be in a successful relationship? Hey, everybody. It's your girl, DJ with Plan for Keys podcast. And today I have Jane McMillian of Men Are Not the Enemy. She is an author. She is a dating coach. And she is here to speak on her new book. What's the new book called?
It's called... A Man's Guide to Identifying the Narcissist Woman. It's actually an ebook, a digital ebook. A Man's Guide to Identifying the Narcissist Woman.
Ooh, this episode should be good.
Yes.
So we are going to dive into your book. What was the inspiration for you writing this book? But before we dive into all of that, I need to get to know Jane McMillian, the author, the dating coach, and how did the movement come about of Men Are Not the Enemy?
That's a great question. So I just noticed as the time that we're in just kept progressing, more and more people are getting steered away from the original divine of the original order, God, man, woman, child. I just noticed that women are growing so weary. They're losing hope. They're losing faith. Men are losing hope. Men are losing faith. I just feel like this platform is a definite need. Because we need to be focused on the healing part so that we can effectively overcome and learn to love men again. I think that's very needed. It's very needed.
Absolutely. So Men Are Not the Enemy. When you're talking to different women, what actions or what things are they saying that led to that, just that name? Because it's a very powerful statement.
Yes. So the bottom line is, women were making excuses. They would say, oh, well, this relationship didn't work out because he did so. It was never like, well, this is what I learned. This is what I need to work on. This is what I need to effectively communicate the next time around, et cetera, et cetera. So in a nutshell, I was like, yeah, women have a accountability issue. Yeah. So it's like, the bottom line is men are not the enemy. Yes, who's not scared today? Everybody is afraid today. Everybody is afraid to get hurt. But that is unfortunate that, unfortunately, that's just how love works. You go in blind and you just put as much effort into it as you possibly can and just pray and hope that you get the same in return. But, yeah, I just wanted to shut down the accountability part. Men are not the enemies. We got to look inward too. Women need to identify that they too have some baggage and some untouched trauma that they haven't dealt with.
Absolutely. I feel like as a coach, we all have our own stories. Mm-hmm. For you, did you have accountability issues, you would say, or were you kind of someone who just always continued with a positive outlook and never really felt burnt?
Mm-hmm. So, yes, short story, my daughter's dad, I have a daughter and a son. My daughter's 18. And when she was 2, thank you so much.
You do.
Thank you, girl.
Yes, girl.
I know. So, so when she was 2 years old, almost 3, her father took her and disappeared. So I went through 4.5 years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 4.5 years of didn't know where she was. So in that time, I had to self-reflect. So I'm 37. So this was about my early 20s, like 21, 22, okay. Well, probably even 22, 23. So I had to, even at that age, I had to self-reflect. I wanted to self-reflect, to take accountability for what I could have done differently that brought me up to this particular time in my life. And yes, my daughter, of course, I had her early 20s. So yeah, I was going out partying. She would be at her dad's family's house, or sometimes my family's house. And so I was like, wow, instead of me clubbing all the time, I could have been using my time wisely and bonding with my daughter more. Now I'm in a place where I don't know where she is. And now it depends on, time depends on whether or not I'm going to be able to rekindle the bond. So I reminisced on everything, and I said, you know what? Yes, I didn't have anything to do with the outcome of what happened, but I have something to do with how I could have just steered it more as far as on my own behalf. So that's, yeah.
Got you. Okay. Now, with that story, I'm assuming you did end up getting your daughter back, or you end up knowing where she was after some time. How did you move forward just with holding yourself accountable and dealing with men? Because even though that's traumatic. That's very traumatic, even for you to be able to look inward and not project that. Right. Yeah. How did you move forward?
Yeah, girl, I'm telling you, the first year, and trust me, I'm at a place now where I don't cry about this situation. So I thank God for that.
Yeah.
And that's proof right there that when you're healed, when you can speak on your past, and you say it with grace.
Yeah.
So, so basically God helped me to move forward. I literally was in a church one day, and I got up in the church, and I went to this corner of the church, and I just lifted my hands, and I'm just like literally saying out of my mouth verbally, God, just take this anger away from me, take this animosity. This was at a time where I was searching for her. She wasn't old enough to communicate. So when I did have phone conversations with her, she didn't understand what I was saying. So I couldn't just say, hey, where are you, so I can come pick you up. So I just told God, take this away from me and replace it with peace everlasting, like happiness that can't be taken away from me. And that's what he did. And then after that, all I had to do was just choose to conquer, choose to overcome, choose to move forward. And I just, everything after that decision, I just put all my energy towards that original decision, what I made up in my mind. And that was, I'm moving forward. This is something that I cannot change. So I'm going to move forward to the things that I can change.
Wow. Okay, I gotta circle back just a little bit, because so many people will talk about the courts being on the woman's side. Were you able to go to court? And
girl, that was a hot mess. So people think that, and I know this is not about child support, but I'm just gonna say for the record, people think that, like you said, people think that, oh, just because you're the mom, you're gonna get all the rights. No, being that he took her on paper. I didn't have any record myself. I don't have any when I took her to the doctor, when she was in school, because he took her. So I couldn't prove that she was with me. So the judge looked at it as, well, unfortunately, she has been with him X amount of time, and that's what she has become familiar with. So I went in there thinking, my family, my friends were telling me, you're gonna get her back because you're the mom, and no.
Wow.
So,
So, okay. So the journey of healing and getting your daughter back, did it evolve like her dad to like help you heal and get to this point as well? No. He and I, we're on a communicating level. Like cause I'm not gonna say never. I did go through a phase where I slightly hated him. Yeah. But it didn't last that long. But no, he had nothing to do with my healing process. In fact, I just wonder if like maybe y'all became friends, and because again, you have this persona where men are not the enemy, and in your own way, you went through a traumatic experience, even though your accountability and stuff like that. But again, there's a lot of women who could flip that. So that's why I was wondering, did y'all become like really good friends or anything? But no.
Not friends, but we became on an effective communicating level. It was just more of like co-parenting. Gotcha. Whereas before it was just one-sided with him keeping my daughter or whatever. Now I can call him, say, hey, what's going on with my daughter, yada, yada. Now we have effective communication. We have an open communication. hallway. There's now a hallway open to communicate. But yeah, as you said, I could have very well hated men for the rest of my life. Like, that was something that it took me a while to get over. I used to talk about it and just cry all the time.
Wow.
But again, once you make that choice to renew your mind, you can gain control of your future just by making sure that you are mentally choosing to forgive and move forward.
Got you. I have a hunch, and I could be wrong. I have a hunch maybe you had another relationship in between, maybe your first, I don't want to say the wrong term, because some people, I'll be like, baby daddy for me, be like, no, he's my baby father, he is this.
I say my daughter's father.
Your daughter's father, see. Yeah. So I'll be like, I try to be respectful, because I'll be ratchet as hell when I say
Yeah, but here's what it is, baby daddy, but
baby father, right, or daughter's father. Mm-hmm. In between that, maybe was there another relationship where you had to really reflect, and
no,
that came to, or was just that relationship where everything just kind of sunk in that men are not the enemy?
No, that was the relationship that after that, I believe I was dating, but I didn't really have no quote unquote boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I was focused on, I had shifted my energy. I went to college. Okay. I was on a mission. I was on a mission to take all my pain and produce something fruitful. Okay. So, but yeah, he is the foundation of Men Are Not the Enemy. The story about him, involving him, it created the power and the purpose behind Men Are Not the Enemy. And it is just like you said, just because a man has hurt me in my past, it does not mean that pain is going to produce my future or my outlook on men. That's up to me. And I choose to love again. And I will love again and again and again and again. Yeah.
How did you get to the point where you decided you weren't going to get burnt out? Because there's some women who just completely get burnt out, or they'll experience similar patterns. Like, they'll go out and they'll date, they'll experience similar patterns, and then all men are dogs. Out of the millions and billions of men on this earth, all of them are dogs now. How did you push past maybe any of those ideologies you may have had?
I just tell people on my platform, you sound very ignorant, because there's facts and there's what you feel. And the bottom line is, I have not met every man on this planet to determine that all men ain't shit. I just haven't. Now, granted, if I were to meet every single man walking on this planet, and I can conclude that now men ain't shit, then I can say that with my chest out. Yeah. But because I have not met every man yet, that is what keeps me. That's what keeps me going.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Now, for the women who, like I said, kind of like who have met a few in a row, and they just this is their mindset. How do you help them break down that mindset and hold themselves accountable? Because I don't know, for me, if you running into the same type of person, there's something within you that's mirroring out as to why you keep dealing with this type of person. Mm-hmm. Do you break it down that way when you're talking to people and try to help them examine what they may be doing so they can hold themselves accountable?
I do, but what I have learned, unfortunately, women are extremely complicated. So they're extremely complicated. But yes, what I like to do is I like to speak life into the woman. Okay. Because that more so, to me, I feel like that's a better way to come at a woman, because I know we're emotional. I know that, touchy subjects will get us triggered. Yeah. So I just try to speak life. I'll say, you deserve to love again. Why don't you give yourself that privilege to, realize that every man is not going to hurt you, sweetheart. Every man is not like your father. So I just, whatever they tell me verbally that whatever their experience was, I try to use that and effectively turn it into power. I try to help that woman see she is in control of her heart, and she can love again. She can forgive. Because, as I said, a lot of women are hard-headed. They don't want to love again. They want somebody to blame. And
when you want somebody to blame, that's the energy you put out.
Correct.
And that's what in a way, that's what you attract. I know a lot of people be like, I don't believe in that foo-foo stuff, but it's real, y'all.
Right. It's real. Very real.
It's real.
And then that's why you're attracting garbage, because you're giving out garbage. How do you want a man that's a good man? think about it. If you're a good woman, are you going to be attracted to somebody that's not like spiritually and emotionally together? No, you're going to walk past, or you might take advantage of that person because maybe it's something that you can gain from it, but you're not going to settle down with somebody that you know is not on your level. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
I think so, but I think also, again, I think human beings are complicated too, though, because we'll run into somebody that we know we know consciously they're not on our level. We know, right? But if you are somebody who, if it's a fixer or you see yourself as a healer, you'll go ahead and you'll settle for this person thinking that you can build them up. And then again, once you get out of that situation, all men are dogs. But it's like, no, how can we hold ourselves accountable and move forward in picking the right people?
Just realize, like you said, nobody is perfect. Just keep that in your mind. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Love is not tangible. Love is not tangible. You can love every single person on this planet and at the end of the day still have love in your heart because it's not tangible. Get out of the mindset of thinking that love is tangible. You can love again. Nobody is stopping you. You are stopping you from loving. I don't know if I answered your question, but
you did with the internal belief systems that people have about themselves that they don't even know that they have. Sometimes pushes you to the people that you know you consciously don't want. So that's something that we have to take accountability for and learn. So, okay, you said something probably about 5 minutes ago about every man isn't like your father. Did you have a situation like that of your own that you had to kind of grow from?
So my view on men is kind of different, and not kind of, it's very different. I grew up with my dad. My dad is my best friend. My dad is my everything. I love my dad. I love my dad. And then I have 5 brothers on top of that. So I grew up around a brotherhood, right? It was the opposite for me, where a lot of women don't trust men. I trusted men because my dad was my first love. My brothers are that's my boys. So I had to, and this was just recently, I had somebody come on my platform and a woman actually checked me, but not in a bad way, in a healthy way. She checked me in a healthy way. And she was like, Jane, your issue is you see men like your father. You don't consider that they can hurt you. You don't consider that you can get hurt. You don't consider that it's not going to be always peaches and cream and rainbows and strawberries. You're going to experience some triumphs, some trauma, some pain, some hurt. So I had to realize that, yes, it's good for me to have this positive outlook on men, but I can't make them a god. I can't say, guys are, they're never going to hurt me, which that's because I'm very trustworthy. I can trust people easy. But sometimes my damage was, like I said, just going in it thinking that, why would this person hurt me? They said they love me. Just like my dad. Yeah. My dad said he loved me. I know my dad will not hurt me. I know my brothers won't hurt me. They said they love me. I know they love me. They show me that they love me. But men, that's just life. So I don't know if that made any sense. But
that did make sense. Yeah. So no. That made sense. I asked you, what was your relationship with your father and how it impacted you in dating? So would you say your healthy relationship with your father, would you say that it impacted you? Would you say to pick the right men who helped you grow in your journey, or no? Because I know on the caveat, they'll say that women who have had fathers that will say is like quote unquote healthy relationship, and you'll let me know if you agree. Fathers who kind of, I don't know if I'm using the right word, coddle or whatever. It kind of blocks them from. Trying to think of the right word.
Yes.
Like you expect all men to kind of be a certain way, and they're not that way. If that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect. And I know exactly what you're saying because that's how I view it.
Okay.
So I use the term cripple.
Okay.
I feel like my dad has crippled me in a lot of areas because, like I said, I went into like I didn't have a transition where it was like, oh, you go from 20 to 21 and now you know how to date. Like, no, I went from being with my dad, growing up with my dad, and then I grew up and then I had to move out. So it's like I went from my father's safety net to like now I'm out here in the world. So then I was looking for the guys to be that same safety net. I was looking for men to show me that exact same safety net. And that's where I got hurt a lot of times because I am a lover. I am a lover 100%. I'm a lover, not a fighter, and that's to the core. So yes, it crippled me, and I speak about this a lot. Fathers can cripple their daughters because it's not really a dose of reality. That's not reality that men are going to love us like our fathers. But you will find men that will, but that's not you. Men are not my fathers. My father is my father, and men are men. So I just had to take a step back and start to approach dating as an individual for every single man that is a potential that wants to date me.
So in the past, what do you think you subconsciously looked for in a man, and then how did they let you down?
I just expected them to love me like I love them. I never really thought that it wouldn't be reciprocated. I never thought that. And I was like, how did I live this whole damn time? I'm 37 years old and I didn't believe the love wouldn't be reciprocated. Like it sounds crazy, but it's truth. So, I just had to,
I get it. I get in those thoughts too and be like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's in my head.
Yeah.
How, as far as just dating, and what do you look for now? Now that you feel you are more equipped, what do you look for now?
So now I look for a person that's like effective communication is a really big thing. Because I like to talk. I love to talk. But I do this for a living, much like you.
Yeah.
Talking is my gift. That's my spiritual power. So effective communicating, somebody that's not going to shut down. Of course, he got to be fine because we all want somebody that look good. But that's to me, that's a given. Like I expect to be attracted to somebody because I wouldn't be looking their way if I wasn't attracted to them. So now that I'm attracted to them, they're attracted to me. Now what? I also look for do men or does this man does he know? Is it residue of him dealing with trauma? Is there proof that he has dealt with trauma? Like if, for instance, for an example, if he grew up without his mom, or maybe he had a mom, but maybe she was degrading towards him. Maybe she called him a piece of crap. Maybe she told him he ain't gonna never be nothing. Does his lifestyle affect what his mama told him? Ooh. Is he a no good? Is he acting like he doesn't have any worth? Does he know his power? Does he know that he can overcome what his mom has put into his head? Is he reaching for the stars? Yeah. Did he let his mom's words bury him? So, or does he know? Has he become aware of words that have been told to him? And is he using those words to push forward and to overcome?
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a good segment into your ebook.
Okay. Yes.
What was the motivation behind your ebook?
So men will, I have a predominantly male following on TikTok. So men would come into the live platform and they would start asking me like, how do we find women like you? Like where are the good women like you, Jane? Like women like you don't exist. And so I'm like, well, other than the dating tips, which I tell them a lot of great dating tips too. Okay. But so I sometimes feel like it's easier for me to tell them, I guess people use the term red flags. I feel like it was easier for me to call out the red flags so that they can take the red flags and personalize it to them, okay, and then just find what they actually want based on them knowing what they don't want. Because a lot of men, I don't even think men, I know men don't really think on the capacity and the detail in which women think when it comes to dating. Men, I believe that they're like surface. Long as you can cook, long as you can clean, long as you got some good BV, some BJ, you good. And I have been privileged to help them pull out other things other than just those 3 or 4 basic things. So yeah, I just wanted to put them up on game because good men kept getting God.
Yeah.
Good men kept getting God. So many stories I've heard men say, you know, I gave this woman my all. I paid, you know, she didn't have to work. I put her up in the house. She didn't have to work. You know, she had it made and left him. Took all his money, left him, took all his stuff. So I'm like, let me show. Okay, so what y'all need is y'all need to be able to determine when to walk away. And that's where I was like, boom.
And then the accountability piece
Yes.
too, even for them, because how you didn't catch that this woman was going. Let's talk about it, because you said women can be narcissistic. What when you listen to their stories, what is it that points out that it's just all the woman and the man does the men have to take accountability?
Yes. No. Okay. Yeah. It's not like that. I get on the men too. I get on they behind. I get on the men too. It's just that, you know, contrary to what people believe, it's easier just to talk to men than it is women. It's just period. It's not just by my experience, but a lot of people that counsel. Recently, there was a woman that went viral on, I forgot her name, but she went viral on, I think, all platforms. She was a very well-known marriage counselor, and she was saying that she used to counsel Black women. And she literally went on a rant like, you know what? Bump these Black women. I'm not counseling y'all because y'all don't know how to listen. Unfortunately, that's a real thing. So it's not that I'm saying that men are perfect. They're absolutely not perfect. Yeah. But in order for us to find love, we have to be able to understand where these men are coming from. And if you're a narcissist, which means if you're always pointing the finger, if you refuse to accept what you did, then you don't leave any room for a man to love you because you're always you, you know? And yeah, and it's like, and then when I become to hear of more stories, it's like, dang, sis, like, how you let this good man get away? He did what? He paid your, he bought you flowers every week. He rubbed your feet. He took care of your kids. How you let him get away? And these women really don't have no real reason other than, well, he didn't put the seat down or some petty stuff like that. It's just petty. I'm like, girl, you got to fight for love. Yeah. Love is worth fighting for.
If there's love there.
If there's love there.
I noticed with a lot of people, this is like speaking on attachment theory and the different attachment styles. If you have an insecure attachment style, we'll talk about the man first in this situation. You feel you have to work harder in a relationship because if you buying all this stuff and doing all this stuff and the woman in a way is still kind of like, whatever, then obviously with him, there's where he needs to hold his accountability, because I get that men have to go out and they have to kind of do, but to me, it shouldn't be that hard where you have to impress them so much. And then for the women, again, kind of the same thing, if you are somebody who's used to toxicity and somebody's giving you something so easily and so much, and you just somebody you can kind of, in a way, like this man is a doormat, it's sad, but they don't respect it because they've been around toxicity and they feel that maybe they have to work hard. So I'm wondering if they just kind of attracted to each other, and then when it was over, it was over. Yeah. I don't know if you would agree with that.
I agree. That's the thing. Yeah, man. Let's talk about men getting burnt out. I see that all the time. Yeah. I see that all the time. Like even with my dad growing up, my stepmom, when they first met, she had 2 babies still in diapers, my stepbrothers. Wow. One was 2, and I think they're 2 years apart. So I think one was 3 and one was 1, or not even 1. So my dad married a woman, and she was in the projects. I remember when my dad would take us to visit her, it was roaches all in her house and stuff. Oh, wow. And I'm just being honest. Yeah. And so my dad took her and loved on her and took care of his boys, her boys like it was his. And I grew up with these brothers. And so it is possible. But then I saw my dad wear many hats, keep all these jobs just to pay, make sure that we were fed, make sure we have video games that other kids had, and et cetera, et cetera. Men do get burnt out. Like, you know, I think a lot of women too use religion as a weapon, you know, because they know that, well, God says you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to protect. And yeah, that is what, if you are a believer, that is what the word says. But however, you have to be
how do you be a helpmate in that so they don't get burned out and they don't?
Exactly. How do you be a helpmate? You see that man as your best friend. Now, if you and I were best friends, I'm going to call you every day. You're going to know my whole business. You're going to know the last time I farted. You're going to know everything. You're going to know everything, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you have a man. Like, let that man in your space as if he's your best friend. There's no reason why I should be all kiki kaka with you, but then when I'm around my man, I'm all serious, or vice versa. Be yourself.
I was just talking about this with another guy. Like, he compartmentalizes a lot and says that for him, he just looks for a mate, somebody who can compliment him. And it's like, you don't look for a friend. You don't look for somebody. He said, no.
Wow.
And we went back and forth on that for a minute, and he just wasn't hearing it. But no.
A lot of men say that, though.
It's crazy.
A lot of men say that.
I feel like that's a big accountability part on them, though. Like,
it is.
Why, like, you got to find a friend.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So.
It is. So,
I want to, thinking about your ebook, what is the biggest tip you have for men to just stay away from a woman who would be considered a narcissist? And then I have another question that's flipped for the other side.
Just the first thing off my head, if you having a conversation about, let's just say purple, y'all talking about purple, right? And you're talking about purple, but she's talking about her. She said, I, and I. To me, that's like, yeah, she's self-centered and she has narcissistic traits. We're talking about purple. We're not talking about you. We're talking about how did you relate you to purple? A lot of women will take anything, not just women, but men too. But I'm just saying,
we're talking about, yeah.
What we need to correct women is, if we're talking about purple, talk about purple. Don't bring it about you. And then, matter of fact, learn to ask him, well, what do you feel about purple? How do you feel about purple? Learn not to make it all about us. But yeah, that to me is a red flag, is always talking about I.
Got you. Now, another question to kind of flip. So they talk about women think that they're highly emotionally intelligent because we are highly emotional. But I'm not going to say all women, because I feel like I'm somebody who can regulate my emotions. So I feel like there are a lot of women who can regulate their emotions. But for the women who feel that their emotions in a way control them, right? Like they get mad and they automatically have to go off. What tip would you give to a woman to help them become more emotionally regulated? Because I know there was something you said that kind of triggered that question on why I'm asking this.
So you know what? I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest. I'm still learning that too. Because I have a zero tolerance. So when I see, because I know, I'm just being honest, I know what I want.
Yeah.
So anytime I see something that doesn't quite align, I'm quick to be like, let me just move on. Yeah. Right. So I'm learning grace too. Because sometimes we dismiss people too fast.
I think there's gray areas to everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I would say to just always remember that you like this person. Remember this, when we want to get upset, just remember that this man is not my enemy. He's not here. He's not here to conquer me. He's not here to defeat me. He's here to love me. This is a person that I chose. I have to be comfortable. I have to take ownership of the guy that I chose. I have to own that. Yeah. So it's like, if I have you in my life, you're in my life for a reason. So I got to remember that this is my man. He's not my enemy.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to dive into these questions.
Okay.
Okay. My first one for you is, why do you think subconsciously dating is a nightmare for both men and women?
Oh my Lord. Because so many people are playing games. It's so many good people that they're effective daters. They know what they want. They know they're ready for love. They're ready to love. But you got a lot of people that they don't. I was just talking about this the other day. I can tell you something, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to show something that proves what I told you. So that might take maybe we got to get in an argument just for me to prove what I had told you earlier. So I just feel like the nerves of like, is this person really for real? Are they who they say they are?
Yeah.
I feel like I think that has us going crazy. I think that's just.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What do you feel someone benefits from being in a committed relationship with you?
I love this question. What they get with me, I am, again, communicating is that's what I do. So you never have to guess with me. You never have to, because sometimes women, we really don't say what we mean, or sorry, sometimes we expect men to know what we
both
are thinking.
Right.
So yes, you're right, both. What they get with me is they get someone that is I might not be 100% effective all the time, but at least my goal is to communicate. They also get forgiveness. Like, I know how to forgive. I know how to, okay, yeah, he might not have made the right decision, but I know how to forgive. I know how to show grace. They also get family. A lot of men don't even have fathers. They get my daddy. They get my daddy. If you pick me, they get my daddy. Like, I'll share my dad. You got a whole team of brothers waiting to get to know you and love you and stuff. And then my son, he just gets love. What they gain from me is just love.
Yo, I'm not even a man, but I felt warm and fuzzy when you said that, okay? That is beautiful. All right.
Oh, my God.
What do you need to improve, learn, or stop doing to be in a successful relationship?
Whew. Start fresh every day. Literally start fresh every day. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. If y'all was arguing yesterday, matter of fact, if y'all argue today, go back. Like, my focus is always like people say, don't go to bed mad. That's a real thing. Like, don't go to bed mad. Renew your mind. I say that a lot. Renew your mind. Keep your mind renewed. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Just renew your mind.
I like that. Start fresh every day.
Yeah.
I really do. Especially if you decide, I'm committed to this person. I want to be with this person.
Right.
And it's not this crazy toxic situation.
Yeah.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
Last question. Who or what inspires you in your career?
My father obviously inspires me. I always tell women, like, I would never hate men. I will never hate men because I have a father. I have brothers and I have a son. So the men in my life inspire me, and matter of fact, it motivates me to keep this message alive, because I want other women to gravitate towards that. Maybe you don't have a father. Maybe you don't have brothers. Maybe you never had a man that loved you. But I would love to hope that you or anybody can be encouraged by the love that I'm able to still show. Even when I get hurt by men, I still love men. I still desire to know men and love men. So yeah, the men in my life play a great deal.
That's what's up. What's up. Now, tell the audience where they can find your ebook. Tell the audience where they can find you and all of that good stuff.
Okay, so on TikTok, I'm predominantly active on TikTok. The TikTok channel is She Is Jane, SHEISJANE. Or you can just get on TikTok and just hashtag Men Are Not the Enemy. It'll come up as well. Instagram, Men Are Not the Enemy. My ebook, the link it's on my Instagram page and on my TikTok page. All you have to do is click there. You can have access to that. I also have a brand. The merchandise is also in that link. And yeah.
All right. Awesome. I'm going to have all of those links in the show notes. Jane, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm about to add T's that's not there. Opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I feel honored to be here. And I love what you're doing. Don't stop. Keep going.
I'm definitely going to keep going.
You have to keep going.
Thank you so much.
Have to keep going. No matter what, keep going.
Thank you.
For real.
I needed that today.
Yeah.
So you blessed me.
Going.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of the listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to download the dating app Plan for Keeps. And until next time, bye.
Oh, that was dope.
That was